Okay, guys, so our second video now, I would like to talk a little bit more about a formative assessment that was due last day, was due yesterday, 2 p.m. So this is the report I got from quizzes. You actually got 85% of accuracy for those who did it, right, on quizzes. There were 11 questions, and the number of players who played via quizzes were 17 out of the 21 we have. So quizzes, as you can see here, gives me a, a, a report with the percentage of accuracy for each questions and the average time that it took you to answer those questions. Okay, so I'm going to go over the questions that are signed here in orange because they had 75% or less of accuracy. So we had more people having wrong, as you can see here. Correct people, wrong, and an attempt. Okay. So just for you to understand, we're going to go over these questions. There are actually 4 questions here that are signed as orange. So attention, attention, attention. The orange is attention. The green's because you got more than 75% accuracy. I'm also going to go over this question number 3 here. That is really important. We got 3 people getting it wrong, but I want to go over it for everybody to understand how to do it, okay? So I already converted them into a Google Doc here, and we're going to solve them. So, first one, Kyle entered a pie eating contest. He took 1/5 of a minute to eat half a pie. How many pies can Kyle eat per minute? So the first thing I have to analyze here is what ratio my question is asking me. My question is asking me how many pies per minute. So the ratio is actually pies per minute. Okay? And the ratio that Kyle had was half a pie for every 5th of a minute. Does it make sense? So there are 2 ways of solving it. I can either have a bar here that represents 1 minute. Okay, this all represents 1 minute. Okay, and well, if I had to represent 1/5 of a minute, that's what he ate. So I would have to split into 5 small parts. And each part here represents 1/5. Okay. Does it make sense? Well, if in every 1/5 of a minute he ate half a pie, so I'm going to put it here half a pie, half a pie, half a pie, half a pie, and half a pie. So let me erase these 2. This is really bad. So in the whole minute here, which means I need to figure out how much he ate in the whole minute. So what I basically have to do is add these 5. So I have 5 halves, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 halves. Well, 5 halves is actually equal to 2 wholes and 1 half. Yeah? 5 halves. So 5 halves, 2 wholes, and 1 half, which gives me answer letter C. 2.5 pies per minute. Oh, Mister. Okay, Mister. But is there a way that I can solve algebraically without making any drawing? Yes, you can. Well, if my ratio is here, 1 half for every 1/5 of a minute, what I actually have to do is just divide a half by 1/5. Then we learned in our unit 2 that we have to copy the first, write the reciprocal of the second, and multiply. And this will also be 5 halves. 5 because 1 times 5, 2 times 1, 5 halves, which is the same as 2, 2, and 1 half. So the idea is the same for both, okay? Now question number 2 that you got less than 75% accuracy. Do these ratios form a proportion? So on the video you had that you watched last week, we know that if two fractions or two ratios form a proportion, their cross multiplication have to be the same, which means 8 times 15 has to be the same. I'm going to put a question mark here on top of the equal sign because I don't know. To 24 times 5. Then I go to my calculator and then I solve 8 times 15. How much is 8 times 15, guys? Come on, come on, come on. Make your best. 100 and 120. Very good. 120. And if I have question mark again, because I don't know if it's correct or not, 24 times 5, well, it's also 120. So, yes, they form a proportion because their cross multiplication are the same. So I can erase this equal sign, this question mark sign here. And yes, they're the same. Mister, is there another way that I can see that? Yes, there is another way. Well, are they equivalent fractions? If I simplify 8 24ths, 8 24ths I divide by 8, I get a third. And 5 15ths, I also get a third. So yes, they represent the same amount. So yes, they are the same. Okay. Which is the better deal? Next question, right? Which is the better deal? 5 candy bars for $4.35 or 7 candy bars for $6.23. What and how can I start? There are two ways. I'm going to do one way, okay? So one way I can think about the proportion of dollars per candy bar. My handwriting is not that good today. Dollars per candy bar. Okay? So how much I'm going to spend for one candy bar? Then I go for deal number one. I'm going to put it here, deal number one in yellow. 5 candy bars for $4.73. So I'm going to write this in yellow here. I don't have yellow, I'm going to put this one. So it's going to be 4.35 divided by 5. Then I go there to my beautiful calculator and I divide 4.35 divided by 5. And I get 0.87, which means 0.87 cents or 87 cents per candy bar. Well, if I go to my second option for deal, my second option says 7 candy bars for $6.23. So when I'm solving this proportion here, I have to do 6 point, what is happening? I don't know. Okay, $6.23 divided by 7 candy bars. Well, I need to know the price for each candy bar, so 6.23 divided by 7, I actually get $0.89, so 89 cents per candy bar. So what is my best deal? My best deal is my first one here. Okay, my best deal is this. So my answer has to be letter A, 5 candy bars. Oopsie. My best deal is here. So my answer is letter A, 5 candy bars for $4.35. Because the price per candy bar is lower than the other deal. Okay, good. Next one. Jada can read 3/5 of a book in 1/4 of an hour. How long will it take her to read one whole book? Okay, so she wants to know how much time, how much time, how much time per book. Okay, so I want to know hours per book. This is how I convert my oral communication to a representation in math. I want to know how many hours per book. Okay. Hours per book. Sorry, I was wrong. So in this scenario here, she used 1/4 of an hour to read 3/5 of a book. Now I can simply do 1/4 divided by 3/5, which means 1/4 times 5/3, as we learned. So this will be 5, 1 times 5, and 4 times 3, 12. 5/12ths of an hour to read one book, which means letter C, 5/12ths of an hour per book. Pay attention. Alert, 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 alert. We have letter D as a misleading answer. My God, my handwriting is not that good. Sorry. I'm quite sure by the end of quarantine, my handwriting will be better. The misleading alternative. Why is it a misleading alternative? Because it has the correct fraction, 5/12ths, but of a book per hour. And that's not the ratio that we're talking about. The ratio we're talking about here is how much time to read one book. So how much time per book. So that's why per book it's always important to write at the end of your final answer. Okay, pay attention to this. This can be really misleading. This situation here is also interesting because since you have the alternatives, you have to read alternatives first, and we could noticeably see that all the alternatives have the per us, per ounces, which means that my ounces have to go on my denominator of my ratio. Consequently, the price goes on the top. So I want how much dollars, how many dollars, how much per ounces. So now I use this ratio to find the correct answer. So I do it for simple. For simple, that would be 3.19 over 6. And for craft, that would be 3.49 by 8 ounces. So these are my two ratios. Okay, I have the 3.19 over 6, and I have the $3.49 for every 8 ounces. So now it's simply dividing and finding my unit rate, okay, which means the amount of dollars per ounce. So dividing 3.19 by 6, I get nearly 0.53, rounding correctly. And then if I do 3.49 divided by 8 on my calculator, I get 0.44 if I round correctly to the nearest cent of a dollar. Now, which is the better deal? Think about if I pay 53 cents per ounce or 44 cents per ounce. 44 cents per ounce, right? So my best deal would be letter C, craft, buying craft, because it's 44 cents per ounce. Okay? And these were the questions you had most difficulties when you were doing your summative assessment. This Google Doc with the turtle and everything, I'm going to post it as a PDF, and then later you were going to be able to check. This is March 30. Exercises exercise correction. I'm gonna put correction here so you know what you're going to search for. Okay, PDF, and it's being saved. And see you later for more of our class. Okay, bye bye.